First, we delve into the history of London in 1888, where the enigmatic figure of Jack the Ripper emerged. This unidentified figure held the city hostage with a reign of terror, brutally ending the lives of 5 marginalized women: Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Jane Kelly. Each victim, living on society's periphery with their unique stories, fell prey to the brutal attacks. The heinous nature and the surgical precision of the murders suggested the killer might have had anatomical knowledge, sparking theories of him being a medical practitioner. The mystery of Jack the Ripper's identity has remained unsolved, causing a generation-long captivation and horror. Theories abound, from him being a surgeon to a butcher or even a royal. Despite numerous investigative attempts, his true identity remains shrouded, evoking a perennial intrigue that echoes even in the current times. Fast forward to the late 19th century, where we encounter H. Holmes, a man who chillingly transformed a Chicago hotel into his personal house of horrors, known as the Murder Castle. Holmes meticulously designed the hotel with a labyrinth of rooms, secret passages, and trapdoors to disorient his victims. Rooms were soundproofed and fitted with gas lines that allowed him to asphyxiate occupants at will. Holmes confessed to over 30 murders, systematically orchestrating his hotel into a macabre playground of death, complete with a basement designed for dissection and disposal of bodies. His reign of terror culminated in his eventual hanging in 1896. As we step into the epic of the 20th century, we cross paths with the haunting shadow of John Wayne Gacy. Gacy was convicted of 33 counts of gruesome murder, horrifying rape, and brutal torture. Each of Gacy's victims were young and boys, lured to his home under false pretenses, their lives tragically ended by his monstrous actions. His reign of terror sent shockwaves through the nation, striking fear into the hearts of communities. His trial, held in 1980, was a national spectacle, with the public left aghast at the horrifying details that unfolded. The jury's verdict was unanimous, finding Gacy guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and sentencing him to death. While his life ended in 1994, his name persists in infamy, a chilling symbol of pure evil. In the same era, we encounter the infamous Ted Bundy, a charismatic figure whose friendly demeanor camouflaged his diabolical deeds. Bundy primarily targeted young women of college age. He didn't discriminate based on appearance or status, and his victims ranged from students to working women to the daughters of police officers. He left a vast trail of heartbreak, tragedy, and shock, leaving communities in fear and families destroyed. His trial, one of the most publicized in American history, was a spectacle that unveiled the cruel reality of his heinous acts. The evidence was overwhelming, leading to his execution in 1989. Introducing Jeffrey Dahmer, a name that has become synonymous with monstrous deeds that even the most seasoned investigators have found spine-chilling. Dahmer's victims totaled 17, mostly consisting of young men of color. Disturbingly, many of these individuals fell within society's neglected margins, their disappearances initially not garnering the attention they deserved. His victims were typically lured with promises of money or simply companionship, only to meet a gruesome end. The cruel of the crimes involving dismemberment and cannibalism shocked the nation and world. Dahmer's reign of terror came to an abrupt halt with his arrest in 1991. The subsequent trial was a media frenzy, with each revelation more horrifying than the last. He was charged with multiple counts of murder, and despite his defense's plea of insanity, Dahmer was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms. Such was the horror and impact of his crimes that Dahmer's name continues to echo in the annals of criminal history. Not all these sinister figures hail from the distant past. Harold Shipman, known infamously as Dr. Death, practiced medicine until the waning years of the 20th century. A trusted physician in his community, Shipman shattered this unwavering trust in an unfathomable fashion. He claimed the lives of an estimated 250 innocent patients, most of whom were elderly women living alone. His modus operandi often involved administering fatal of diamorphine, masking their deaths as natural occurrences. His reign of terror only ended with his capture in 1998. The subsequent trial in 2000 was a media spectacle. Shipman, standing accused of 15 murders, pleaded not guilty to all charges. However, the solid evidence presented in court, which included his suspiciously altered medical records and the high level of diamorphine found in the exhumed bodies of his victims, led to his conviction. The notorious Dr. Death was sentenced to 15 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, marking the end of his dreadful medical career. Now we turn our attention to Pedro Lopez, a man implicated in a staggering number of over 300 murders. The majority of his victims were innocent tribal women, belonging to the marginalized and vulnerable communities of South America. These women were subjected to unimaginable brutality, their lives short in the most horrific ways imaginable. This chilling massacre is not merely a tale from the forgotten pages of history, it is a palpable testament to the continuing existence of such horrifying evil. Lopez's trial was a spectacle that shook the world, with an overwhelming amount of evidence producing a chilling tale of his monstrous actions. Despite the weight of his crimes, Lopez surprisingly walked free from prison in 1998. His current location remains a chilling mystery. In conclusion, from the enigmatic Jack the Ripper to the horrifying Pedro Lopez, these serial killers have not only left a sinister mark on our history, but also had a ripple effect on our society. Their names, etched permanently in the annals of crime, serve as a somber reminder of the abyss of depravity that humanity can descend to. Each one of them, including H.H. Holmes with his of horrors, ingeniously disguised as a hotel, to Harold Shipman, the trusted doctor who morphed into Dr. Death, has a spine-chilling story that continues to horrify and captivate us. These narratives aren't just tales of horrific crimes, they spotlight the dark underbelly that often lurks in plain sight, cloaked behind seemingly ordinary faces. They serve as a stark reminder of how trust can be manipulated, how power can be abused, and how charm can disguise malevolence. Their stories have had a powerful impact on society, prompting changes in policy, instigating improvements in investigative procedures, and increasing awareness about personal safety. They have also ignited conversations about mental health, societal pressures, and the need for effective rehabilitative measures. Moreover, by studying these cases, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, community safety, and the necessity of a robust justice system. These are lessons we must remember and carry forward, to prevent history from repeating itself.